Welcome to F12 MJD News Updates. Greetings to you, dear friends of Melaka Johor Diocese. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong said no to destabilizing the government and to growing disunity in the country. The ringgit and other currencies, that is Japan, China and the rest of ASEAN except Singapore, are facing currency decline too. Bersih called Malaysia to march for reforms. The PM is under pressure. The population estimates show that Malaysia has reached aged nation status in 2021. Birth rates among the Chinese and the first-year registration Chinese schools have dropped. An e-book, Feudalism in Malaysia Today by Murray Hunter, is available free on OV eBooks publications. Understand where we are. Separation times, going into hiding, avoiding, holding back, withdrawing, isolating oneself. It is a story of separation. Separation from each other, separation from God and goodness, separation from the earth and the ecosystems of which we are a part, and separation even from ourselves. Jesus came to subvert all stories of violence and harm, not to repeat them. He did not avoid them, but he sent his followers into the world to be agents of positive change like salt, light and yeast. By needing peace and quiet, Jesus sought isolation, withdrawal or separation. That's the real need of inner life, contemplation. A strong peace to face the roaring traffic, the people on the street, and the bombardment of headline news on our screens. Instead of withdrawing from the world, leading a lonely, separatist, isolationist life, become hospitable hermits, more alive in the world and more active for the common good by learning light and shadow and discovering it's not about where we live or with whom we live, but how we live. Thought for the week. The Lone Ranger and Tonto were camping on the wilderness. After they got their tent set up, both men fell into a deep, restful sleep after a long day on the trail. Some hours later, Tonto wakes up the Lone Ranger and says, "Kimosabe, look towards the sky. What you see?" The Lone Ranger replies, "I see millions and millions of stars." "What does that tell you?" asked Tonto. The Lone Ranger ponders for a minute and then says, "Astronomically speaking, it tells me there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Time-wise, it appears to be approximately 3:15 in the morning. Theologically, the Lord is all-powerful and we are small and insignificant. Meteorologically, it seems like we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. What does it tell you, Tonto?" And Tonto exclaimed, "You dumber than a buffalo. It means someone has stolen the tent." The lesson from the sky. See with eyes that see. See the here and now. We are only as blind as we want to be, says Maya Angelou. Announcements for this week. 1. The Malaysian Catholic Youth Ministers Initiative at Melaka was attended by 18 pastoral workers, volunteers and associates from 8 dioceses. They were housed with foster families and they engaged with the community leaders and the young of the Portuguese settlement for 5 days. It was a listening, learning and being led experience. 2. Caritas Melaka Johor Diocese features weekly Lenten reflections on I fast, I pray, I give alms based on the Sunday readings. It began with Ash Wednesday and will conclude on Easter Sunday. 3. The Melaka Johor Pastoral Team Assembly will take place at Kluang on the 9th of March 2024. A reminder to all heads of ministries and the EXCO that pastoral listening, pastoral discernment and pastoral response is to avoid personalistic visions and missions. This week's Q&Q asks, how do we listen? Robina Scott shared in the PRH space something for us to think about. Where are your ears? Where do you listen from? What do you listen to? Are your ears on the outside or inside or both? Do you tend to prioritize the noise going on outside of you rather than listening to your inner world? Are your ears in your head, listening from the language of thoughts and ideas? What is logical, familiar, structured? Are your ears in your sensitivity, feeling area? So you listen primarily for feelings. What makes you feel good, not good, safe or not safe? Are your ears in your body, listening to its message of what resonates physically or psychologically for you and naturally gives you energy or well-being or not? Are your ears in your inner being, listening for truth, resonance, potential, deep connections, including the transcendent? And are your ears in your deep conscience, open to another level of wholeness, freedom, inclusivity, expansion, wisdom, peace, unity? Take some time to observe at different times where your ears are, and then note down what you notice and feel. If you want help to explore this further, ask a PRH professional. Entering the third week in Lent, do not stop doing good. God bless you. Just to tickle you, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called.